That it's a great honor of mine to be the heavyweight champion at Trans-South Wrestling, not only because of who runs the promotion, but also our roster is packed full of talent, and Cedric Alexander is one of those talents. But let me tell you something, Cedric Alexander, you're going against Pete Kaasa. Pete Kaasa, the Superhuman. I can fly, fight, and wrestle. We're wrestling in front of the greatest wrestling fans for the greatest wrestling promotion in South Carolina, Trans-South Wrestling. Cedric Alexander, if you want to have a holly jolly, jingle bell Christmas, you just remember that Pete Kaasa commands that four-cornered squared circle, not you, not anybody in the back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following is a one-fall contest for the Trans-South Heavyweight Championship. Introducing first, the challenger. He weighs in tonight at 220 pounds. Wrestling out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Cedric Alexander. His opponent, to my left, he weighs in tonight at 215 pounds. Wrestling out of Charleston, South Carolina, is the current Trans-South Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Peter Kaasa.
Defend the title. So you had Peter Kaasa and you had Hardcore Hunter Thompson going after the vacant championship. And of course, Peter Kaasa emerging victorious to be the new TSW heavyweight champion. And tonight, he's going against one of the biggest and brightest stars in professional wrestling today, Cedric Alexander. Oh! And Cedric cheap shots him. Thought he was going to show a little bit of sportsman diplomacy, but just pulls him in and taking the attack.
I'll tell you what, he really did a job on Peter there for a second. Whoa, drop kick.
He flew way past halfway through the ring. And Peter Kaasa clotheslines him over the top rope. And just look at Cedric Alexander. He is livid. Cedric Alexander had to jump over the barricade and go have a seat right there in the audience.
I don't think he was expecting a missile drop kick or to get knocked over that top rope.
Not at all. Now, these guys met not too long ago during the Union County Fair, and they had a phenomenal matchup. But this time, the stakes are different. This is not about just getting the win. This is about becoming the man of Trans-South Wrestling, winning the TSW Championship belt. Cedric Alexander, he's out there talking to the fans, acting like he doesn't really want to get back in there right now.
Very reluctant to re-enter the ring, but he ain't gonna win out there talking to somebody in the crowd.
That's very true. I think he wants the referee, Mack, to make sure that Peter Kaasa stays on his feet and stays away from being up in the air. But Cedric Alexander just goes back out there.
Well, I think when Peter Kaasa hit him with all these big rallying moves, it just took him by surprise.
It took us by surprise.
Yeah, me especially, because Peter's got a world of talent, but tonight he's quite a good bit different.
And Cedric pokes him in the eye. Went to the ropes, reverses. Oh my goodness! Beautiful back body drop, almost sending Cedric Alexander all the way to the top row lights here at the Union County Fairgrounds.
That back body drop looked like it really knocked the breath out of him. But really, that's the whole idea behind it, Cole.
Oh yes, it does. And the champion picks him up for a big scoop slam. and drops the knee right across that forehead.
Nice looking knee drop.
Very nice. Very, very much reminds me of the way Harley Race or Ric Flair used to drop it. But now Peter Kaasa, it's got him in that beautiful hammerlock and bridging with it. Very unique submission style.
Do you know how difficult it is to do a bridge like that from any type of hold?
Oh, yes, I definitely know, Dan. And I also know, being on a recipient end, I know how much it hurts. But Cedric Alexander's right there in the ropes.
For him to do those bridges, he's got to have great back strength, neck strength, leg strength.
Well, looking at Peter Kaasa, and you can tell he is a very, very strong individual.
No doubt.
Gets him out of the headlock. Hip toss. And the champ's doing the right thing. He's staying on top of his man.
Belly to belly suplex.
Very beautiful. 1, 2, only a 2 count.
Couldn't quite put him away.
Not quite. But Peter Kaasa is showing the reason why he is the champion. He didn't get the job done with that belly to belly, but he knew to go right back to work. A flying elbow drop. Maybe 1, 2, and only a 2 count. You know something else? I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. You're going to have to give credit where credit is due to the referee, Mack Brazell. He's in there with 2 skyrocketing, young, fresh talent like Cedric Alexander and the TSW champion, Peter Kaasa. And he's able to keep up with them.
Questionable kick, and Mack's even questioning it.
Very questionable, but I guess you can't fault the man because it's not like he technically kicked him in the groin, even though that's exactly what happened with that leg being on that rope.
You know, he probably was really, really close to getting himself disqualified.
And Cedric Alexander showing his aggression, just pounding on Peter Kaasa, the champion.
Mack made a discretionary call there, Cole. Sorry to cut you off, but had he thought that was, trying to hurt him or trying to put him out permanently like that, an intentional thing, I think he would have stopped the match.
But I'll give Cedric Alexander credit where credit's due. He probably got away with it in such a way that he knew that he could get the cheap move in there without getting into much serious trouble. But that was a beautiful drop kick by Cedric Alexander. And I don't know if many of this know this at home, but Cedric Alexander was at the very first Trans-South Wrestling show back in April 2 years ago. He wrestled a young man known as Stony Hooker. It went to a time limit draw. Since then, Cedric Alexander has gone on to do some great things in professional wrestling. He's also currently signed with Ring of Honor Wrestling. You can see him on television, and he's here tonight challenging for the TSW Heavyweight Championship.
That's right. By the way, Ring of Honor is syndicated on Sinclair Sports Networks throughout the entire United States.
Yes, they are. And Ring of Honor has a lot of great talent. But as you can see right here, you have Ring of Honor stars coming to Trans-South Wrestling because they want a piece of that gold.
Well, these guys, they do a lot of work for Ring of Honor, but when they're not out there on the road with them, they still take independent dates. And it just so happened he had a free Saturday night, so let's see if he walks out with a belt tonight or not.
Well, it's not just that, Dan, because we even had another Ring of Honor great, former World Heavyweight Champion Davey Richards, that was scheduled to be here this evening. However, due to weather conditions in St. Louis, he was unable to make it tonight.
We were talking earlier, Derek Vanderford talking earlier about hoping to bring him in January, but...
And I think that would be great to see Davey Richards here in Trans-South Wrestling again. But right here, Cedric Alexander going back for the pin, but only a 2 count. the champion, Peter Kaasa, who's not giving up just yet.
Man, I'll tell you what, a tremendous matchup. 8 minutes and a half gone by, and these two have had an incredible pace.
Yes, they have, but right now, Cedric Alexander is trying to slow the pace down a little bit to his favor. He's got those legs wrapped around Peter Kaasa's body, and now he's got those arms wrapped around his neck. But Peter Kaasa, also being an excellent amateur wrestler, knows how to get out of these holds and is fighting back.
Several punches.
Oh, a super kick. Almost took off Peter Kaasa's head, and another kick to the head.
Cedric was smart because he was trying to slow him down, trying to wear him down.
But on top of that, Cedric Alexander, as soon as things were not going his way, he was quick to get back on the offense. Oh, beautiful, beautiful snap suplex. But not enough to keep the champ down. But I tell you what, Dan, Cedric Alexander is really, really showing us tonight that he wants to walk away with that Trans-South Wrestling Championship.
I'll tell you what, this has been a tremendous matchup. And Peter has shown a great deal of fight and fire. But Cedric also has been very, very aggressive in trying to pull out a lot of different things to see if he can't try to take that belt. So, again, this is one of these type of matches you don't know who will get to win.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Dan. But Cedric Alexander is really staying on top of things. The champion, Peter Kaasa, is not exactly in the best of shape, but he is the TSW champion. He has a huge heart. He has a lot of determination. But he's got to do something. He's got to find an opening if he wants to come back from this assault.
Well, both of these guys are in really good shape, but I think that Cedric has tried to control the pace. And maybe he's trying to make Peter go at a more quicker pace than he wants to. And if he thinks I can keep doing this, I'm going to make Peter Casanova run out of gas.
Well, I tell you what, for that being such a small-sized body, there's a lot of fuel in that tank. And Peter Kaasa going in for a sunset flip. Only a 2 count. Oh, and rolls him up. Another 2 count. Oh. And Cedric Alexander just answers back with another vicious kick to the face.
And he's got him with several of them.
Yeah. Too many of those, you might suffer a concussion. But right now, Cedric Alexander's got him down. He's got him in that front headlock. And I'm not sure if the camera guy can get a good shot of this, but you could see the color changing in Peter Kaasa's face, going from a red to a purple.
That's a sign right there he's in trouble.
But he was able to get out. But Cedric snatches it back in.
Back into that front chancery.
But once again, it's hard to catch Peter Kaasa with those kinds of moves with his amateur background. Oh, and a
big knee.
Flying high knee. A flying forearm. Looks like Peter Kaasa just might find his second win. And a power slam. This could be the match. 1, 2. So close.
A super match right here indeed. 13 minutes into it, man.
Hey, I'm telling you what, Dan Parris, Trans-South Wrestling is where it's at. Oh!
That was like a twisting moonsault.
I like to call that the Casanova. I don't know if he's got a particular name for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. And I've actually seen him put away a lot of guys with that move in particular. But Cedric Alexander has still got a lot left in him, it looks like. Makes it to his feet.
Peter luckily landed on his feet.
Yes, he did. And it looks like Kaasa's going back to the top rope. And Cedric Alexander ducks out of the way.
Missing a body press off the top, and he got very lucky. Oh! Backcracker.
That could be. For one split second, I thought we had a brand new Trans-South Heavyweight Champion. And judging from the look on his face, so did Cedric Alexander.
Awfully close. Really, really super close.
Such an amazing maneuver he just pulled off, turning that back suplex into a double knee backbreaker of sorts.
You know,
very unique.
Our previous match was similar to this in the fact that it was so evenly close. And this match here may be it may be closer as far as who could win it than our previous match.
And I think you just might be right, Dan. Goes up, powerbomb. Kaasa answers back.
Hurricane Rana. No, 2 count.
I don't think Peter Kaasa got a whole lot on that Hurricane Rana. I think he released a little bit too soon.
Mack Brazell might have been a little out of position, too, for that.
It's a possibility.
Just a little bit.
It's a possibility. But these two still got enough gas in the tank. And I'm giving the referee due. This is a man that's definitely twice to even maybe 3 times the age of these two and is able to keep up with them. And that says a lot about our official. But looking at our two, wow!
Tremendous agility.
And there's another one of those shots. And another suplex of sorts.
Cedric can't believe he's not getting the job done.
Hey, I'm just as surprised as Cedric Alexander. I thought that was it for the champion. But once again, Peter Kaasa is showing how much heart he has. This is the reason why he became the TSW Heavyweight Champion.
Super close match.
And you don't become a champion if you're easily defeated. And that's what Cedric Alexander is finding out right now, that Peter Kaasa will not go quietly. But Cedric Alexander's got him set up on that top turnbuckle. And Cedric's taking a little bit too much time, in my opinion. Can't answer him back. And a couple of elbow shots. And Cedric Alexander is back onto the attack. But the champion answers back with a few more elbow shots. And he's up. Oh my goodness!
Big DDT.
And that's the match.
Your winner of the match, and still